Hey guys, what's up? It's Mac. So there were so many questions, I am just rolling this over into a part 2 of the Q&A, so here we go. What is your favorite change on testosterone? I love most of the changes. There are some changes like acne and whatnot that I don't like about puberty, but you know, that's just what you get with puberty. But I think my favorite change has been the cease, the drop, the end of my monthly period, my shark week. That has not happened since like 4 months on testosterone. So it's just been so good because I used to have it, and it would be a reminder every single month that you have a woman's body and you are a woman and society sees you as a woman because this period happens to you every month. So the end of that has been great. Couple other my favorite changes have been the change in my face shape, obviously the drop of my voice, but the drop of the period is definitely my favorite. How many instruments can you play? Well, I sing. I think that's probably the best thing I do, and then I play guitar. I was gonna go to school originally, college, for classical piano performance. So I play piano, I play saxophone, I can get my way through on violin, I can get my way through on drums. Did you ever struggle with correcting people when they misgendered you pre-T? If so, how did you find the confidence to tell people the correct pronouns? I am more now. It's interesting, since starting testosterone, I'm more assertive and more defensive of myself. Pre-testosterone, I was just very timid, and if someone said the wrong pronouns, if they said she, I wouldn't correct them. I would just kind of like pretend it didn't happen, or like change the subject really quick so that they don't even think about, oh, they used the wrong pronoun. So a lot of the time, once my friends started to find out I was trans, and once they started accepting me, if one friend A, Joe, says she about me, you know, Bobby is gonna jump in and be like, he, make sure you're saying he, or just like he. And then Joe will be like, oh yeah. And so it was kind of other people correcting people for me. I was just very, very timid. But the way to do it, if you're correcting people, is not to make a big deal about it. If they just like, if they're not doing it intentionally, like, you're a girl, you're a she. If they're just talking about like, oh yeah, you know, John she went like this, and you're like, he. Just very subtle, like, oh, he. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, he. So just like, be very polite about it, and don't like get pissed and mad, because people mess up. Pronouns is a really hard thing because your brain has been rewired, and you just have to understand that it's very difficult for people. If they're not trying to be mean, if they're just like, they're your friend or your family and they're trying to be supportive, pronouns are gonna be difficult. So just be very patient and just he or she or they or whatever pronouns you use. Maybe a little sad, but personally, I'm not very proud of being trans, and I struggle with a lot from that, but especially with coming out to people. Do you have any advice on how to have more pride/comfort with being trans? So I think a lot of confusion, at least for me, comes, I'm not proud of the way I was born. I'm not proud of, you know, my downstairs area. I'm not proud of really even the scars on my chest. I'm so thankful and glad for top surgery, but the scars on my chest make me slightly uncomfortable, because when people see me without my shirt on, they know, or they can assume or think that I'm trans. And pre-testosterone, you know, I had a feminine face and a feminine figure and a feminine voice, and so I wasn't proud of that. That's not what I wanted people to see me as. I wasn't proud. So besides the physical things, I think what I am proud of is that I've like overcome this insane, incredible obstacle of having to deal with having the disconnect of my brain and my body, this whole birth defect, which is sometimes how I look at it, is like a medical defect, like a prenatal hormonal birth defect is what I look at it as, because my hormones just didn't end up matching with my brain. I'm proud of finally accepting and being who I am. I'm proud, maybe not of my trans identity per se, but like of me as a person, for being able to accept myself, having the courage and the bravery to come out socially to everyone, and to medically transition to feel more comfortable in myself. So, that's how I can best answer the question. How old were you when you came out, and were your parents and relatives supportive? My parents found out, they were like asking me, like, are you questioning your gender, when I just turned like 20 years old. And when I was, the end of me being 21 was when I finally was like, all right, I'm actually transitioning, like this is real, this is happening. And so my parents, when they first found out, they were a little hesitant. They didn't know anything about the trans community. They didn't know anything about transgender people. They didn't really know anyone that was transgender. And so it was hard for them to wrap their brains around that their child, like you never think that this is gonna happen to your child, your family. So I think it was a little hard for them to grasp at first. But by the time I was like, you know, I'm coming out, I'm transitioning, this is happening, they were full support, like they were 100% supportive. And I mean, they were still like a little hesitant, like, what if you like regret top surgery, or what if you regret going on testosterone? But I told them I'm going on testosterone, I'm having top surgery, and they're like, if this is what you're gonna do, we're gonna be supportive. We're not like jumping overboard, we're not jumping off the ship and abandoning you. Like we're gonna be supportive, even if we're still a little bit hesitant. But by now, in July of 2018, I mean, they're great about pronouns, they're great about my name, they're just proud of me, and I love them so much. My parents were the ones that kind of spread the news then to like my brother, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, cousins, and everyone in the entire family was supportive. I wasn't there personally, so I don't know like what their initial thoughts were, if they were like, oh, this is weird. But I mean, I've seen all of them since. Most of them, actually I haven't seen some of them, but I've seen most of them and they've all been just very, very supportive. Which is not true for a lot of people in the LGBT community. Their parents and family don't support them, which is tragic. And so what I tell a lot of people that ask me is just, you gotta give them time to come around. You gotta be patient with them. You have to be the bigger person. If they're like giving you shit and discriminating against you, just show them more love. Like, be like, you hate me, you think that this is horrible, myself, who I truly am. Just continue to show them love, and they may come around in time if you keep on educating them. Like I was saying, education is key. But be the bigger person and just continue to love everyone, even if they treat you like shit. First piece of Pride memorabilia. I don't really have Pride memorabilia at all. I have one shirt that I just got this past Christmas. It's like a white tank top and it has like these rainbow letters on it for the brand Addicted. I have that, and then the first thing I ever got was maybe a year ago. I got a trans pride flag, and so I had the flag hanging in my room, but then I took it down because I had like friends coming over and like looking in my house that didn't know I was trans. And so I took the flag down off of my wall because I didn't want them to see a trans flag and be like, oh my gosh, you're trans. So those are literally the only two pieces of memorabilia I own. I obviously need to get more. What am I doing? What inspires you from other people from the LGBTQ+ community? When I was first questioning my gender in February of 2015, I turned to YouTube, is what I turned to. No one knew I was questioning my gender. I didn't know a single, or I wasn't friends with a single LGBT person in my life at all. No one knew. And so YouTube is where I turned to, and I was able to see these people that were just like me, and some people were closeted, and some people had been out for 10 years and on testosterone and had top surgery, or, you know, all these kinds of things. So what inspires me from a lot of people in the LGBTQ+ community is their willingness to be out and open, because the more out that our community is, the more that people see us, the more information is forced in their faces, and it just becomes more of a normal thing. It becomes normalized, and people just understand and tolerate the LGBTQIA+ community so much more. So that's what I really respect about individuals that do that. And there's individuals that want to remain stealth. I personally am stealth in this one friend group that I run around. They don't know I'm trans. But the people that do choose to be out, I think, is awesome. What kind of cult would you like to start? I cracked up at this question. When I used to do Musical.ly a lot, like, you know, the lip-syncing social media videos, I haven't done it in probably like 6 months, but I used to be on it all the time. And they have, like, you know, the Instagram Live things. They had Musical.ly Live things where you could, you know, live stream and people would talk to you. And so I used to do those, and people would be like, you know, you should make like some sort of like cult. And I was like, you know what? Let's call ourselves like the trans tribe. We'll go to Antarctica, just leave all the straights and cis behind, and we'll call it Transarctica. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna run the trans tribe in Transarctica. So I guess I would be the leader of just like a trans tribe. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below. Share this video to my channel with your friends. And if you haven't followed me on social media, what are you doing? The links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.